Hi lovely people of this channel, welcome to another video. This is featuring Maya and Mikey here, who've been just freshly groomed, washed and brushed. So I got some food in my hand, which is why they are all too happy to comply. Just sitz, bleib. Show you how they're gonna chase after these edibles. Bleib. Okay, hoppa, get it. Oh, you didn't get it? You get that. Very nice. Sitz, Maya. Bleib. Good. Maya, hopp. Oi. Okay. Mikey, sits. Yes. Good boy. And recorded. Very nice. See, Maya brushing and washing her is a whole body workout because her coat is so longish and at the same time very dense. It's almost like the coat of a husky combined with that of a rough collie in some places. Also, the rough collies, of course, have much longer hairs. So I'm not gonna even imagine how it is to brush one of those ones. But even Maya here, being a long-coated Estrela, she's got these long tufts here on the back of her legs, very long tufts here, you see, and that glorious livestock guardian tail, of course, a plume that needs brushing out every few days to stay in top shape. And brushing her, Maya, wait. Brushing her is a lengthy endeavor because you gotta bleib. You gotta get through all these layers. You got the coarser top coat here, is a bit like goat hair in the texture, and then you got the soft and floofy undercoat, which is keeping the dogs warm in the Estrela Mountains, quite unforgiving mountains. Gets very cold and freezing in winter, lots of snow, ice, and snowstorms. So that's why these dogs really need their wool to keep them protected in the face of very harsh weather up in those mountains. Mikey here, of course, doesn't have such concerns. Has a short-coated dog here, very nice. Oh, you're very nice. As a short-coated dog here, washing him was so super easy. Like you just take a wash glove or a soft brush, put some soap in it. We use organic dog shampoo here with some cherry scent to wash all the dogs, and then you rub that soap in the coat with a wash glove or washcloth or whatever you're using, soft brush, and before you know it, the beagle is washed and good to go for another month or so. I don't brush beagles at all simply because they don't need it. If they need to lose some of their coat, if they're shedding, which happens twice a year, spring and autumn shedding season, I just need to do something like this and the little beagle hairs come off. With Maya this doesn't work. She really needs an undercoat rake, a good pin brush, and a special underwool like detangling tool to keep all that floof that you see here, that glorious floof, well in order. You don't want to get tangles in there, and I sometimes do have to cut little parts out that gotten all tangled up, but usually not. It's a lot of work, you guys. I would not recommend you get a long-coated livestock guardian dog unless you're really fond of coat maintenance. There are fortunately other breeds in Portugal available. We have the Alentejo Mastiff and the giant Great Dane-sized Transmontano Mastiff, who are far easier to groom because they got short slash medium length coat. So if you could imagine probably about that length here of coat, if that was evenly distributed on the whole dog, that would be your Alentejo Mastiff. The bigger one, the Transmontanos, have even shorter coat. So yeah, that's probably the dog I would recommend if you are in need of a livestock guardian dog. If you don't mind the barking that can get quite excessive with these dogs, but also to a point it has to be excessive because you'd want to make a strong wolf deterrent and deterrent for stray dogs that could come in and rip in your lambs, specifically during lambing season, and whilst the young sheep are still, you know, vulnerable. But also ewes who are pregnant can lose lambs if a stray dog comes in and chases them. So if we had sheep on this plot here, and say some stray dog squeezed itself through a little, or under the fence, a little hole in the fence, you just don't know, because some of these little hunting dogs that run loose here are quite small. They're about the size of dachshunds and could, in theory, burrow underneath that fence here, which is also kind of oldish in this place. So it would be possible. So if we had pregnant ewes here, that would be a danger, because these dogs would go after the little lambs and after the ewes, to just not to rip into them necessarily, but to chase them, because they obviously, being hunting dogs, are the strong prey drive. Mikey here would probably do the same if we had sheep on the land, if we hadn't socialized him to those sheep. So that's a consideration. If you're in a situation like this, in my opinion, you need a livestock guardian, unless you're in a place like England, where that might not be practical, because also there'd be people walking through your field. Scotland, England, I think Ireland as well, has rights of way, so the population can walk through a sheep-filled field, and they can take their dogs along. So if they let these dogs run loose, or if these dogs slip out of their collar, or rip through their leash, or slip out of their harness, whatever it may be, suddenly you have a dog worrying livestock, and sheep can lose their lambs. They can also exhaust themselves and die of exhaustion. They can injure themselves falling into a ditch or something like that if they're in a panic. So yeah, it's a tricky situation in the UK. I would just advise dog owners to be on the safe side. If they enter a field, there's livestock in there, just put a long line or even a flexi leash from the brand Flexi, which is a German quality brand. Don't use any substandard flexi leashes, extendable leashes / retractable leashes. Use a time-tested Flexi brand, which doesn't sponsor this video. So I just have extensive experience with them coming from Germany, and can attest that they're very good. But yeah, I would definitely recommend anyone in Portugal to have a livestock dog on the land, to safeguard their stock, safeguard also the ducks, chicken, geese, whatever they may have. And also horses, because contrary to popular belief, horses are also the ones that live right here. I'll show you where they live. You see the hill up there behind those houses. That's where a local wolf pack resides most of the time. My husband goes hiking there. Quite often he sees them, and sometimes quite close. They're not shy of humans. They will slowly trot away if they see him, but they're also very used to him, because he's always hiking there, walking there with one of the beagles or by himself, and there's never been any sign of aggression from the wolves. But if those wolves come down and they see especially a foal or an elderly horse that's maybe not so well equipped anymore to defend against them, or maybe a pony was smaller anyway, or a herd of cows with calves, they will go after these young ones. So it's important to remember here, living in these very rural areas of Spain and Portugal. That's why Portugal has so many different livestock guardian breeds. We have the Estrela mountain dog, which is this one here. We have the beagle, obviously is not one of them. He just happens by doing his own thing here. We have the Transmontano Mastiff, who's the biggest one, giant one, looking a bit like a Saint Bernard, short-coated Saint Bernard. And we have the Alentejo Mastiff, who's very closely related to the Estrela, just different in coat texture, again shorter coats, and usually in colors. They have a lot more white in their coat. They often come in brindle, patches of brindle with white, black and white, or yellow / fawn and white. And we have the Castro Laboreiro cattle dog, who is a mixture between a cattle dog, I would say, is a Molosser type dog, a mixture between a cattle dog and a Molosser/Mastiff, also very closely related to the Estrela breed. They look like giant, like Laboreiro dogs look like small, short-coated Estrela mountain dogs. They come in dark brindle as well as fawn. Very rarely a fawn puppy is born, light fawn. But I hear that this is also permissible in their breed standard, but usually they come in this dark brindle, look quite menacing and are quite fierce. I would not recommend anyone entering a property is guarded by a Castro Laboreiro dog. And yeah, so that's my sermon on livestock guardian dogs and coat maintenance for them, for the long-coated versions of them. You probably have a similarly hard time if you had with coat maintenance, if you had a Great Pyrenees or Maremma sheepdog, or one of the other long-coated versions like the Bulgarian or Romanian. I forget, sorry. You also sometimes often see them in Greece. These big dogs that look like Lancer Newfoundlands, black and white and shaggy looking, same coat like Maya hereabouts. So all these are the floofy kind of the livestock guardians, who are a nightmare to groom, in my personal opinion. I would not get a dog like this again. I love Maya, absolutely. She's a wonderful companion and guardian, very, very reliable guardian especially, and very loving, caring companion, very affectionate and docile to the family and to the little flop ears here. But I would not get a dog like this again simply because of the coat maintenance. I'd much rather have an easier time with my grooming responsibilities. And yes, I would probably, if I wanted a livestock guardian / needed a livestock guardian again, which I will because we're planning to get some sheep in the future, I would probably go for the Laboreiro dog, simply because the short-coated nature of them. But anyways, that's wrapping up this video. Thanks for watching and listening. See you in the next one. Bye.